Hey everybody, Mike Evans from 4GK Martial Arts, here to give you just 5 quick tips that are going to help you survive your first kickboxing workout. Now, if you've already started taking classes, there might be a little information for you as well, but if you haven't, here's what you can expect. Here's some things that'll help you really conquer your goals. First of all, we want to make sure that you fill the tank. Now, research has discovered that working out on an empty stomach actually has the opposite effect of what we're trying to accomplish. What happens is, because you don't have any fuel in your system, your body starts to actually break down muscle in order to feed itself. So muscle is one of the things that helps you burn those calories. Whether you're working out using those muscles or even at rest, the more lean muscle you have, the higher your metabolism is going to be. So we want to make sure that you really have some fuel in your tank before you start class. To help you out with that, you want to make sure that about 30 to 60 minutes before class, you have some sort of snack. We want to make sure it's a high quality snack. Don't sit down and eat a bag of marshmallows. You want to have something small, lightweight, healthy. An apple is great, or a protein bar, or an apple with a little bit of some kind of nut butter on it, or sunflower butter. Something that's going to just provide enough fuel for your body to maintain during your workout. You don't want to overdo it though. Don't sit down and have a full meal no matter how healthy that meal is. You don't want to have that right before class. What happens is when you have a heavy meal or a big snack, your body's nervous system actually shifts gears, focuses more internally on digestion and absorption of nutrients, that sort of thing, instead of bringing all that extra blood flow out to the muscles where we really need it. And because of that, if you have that heavy meal, you might feel just bloated because your body can't digest, or you might go the other way and feel lightheaded or nauseated because your body's not providing enough blood, oxygen, and nutrients up to the brain. You want to make sure that your last large meal is about 2 hours or so before class. It gives the food time to digest. You also want to make sure that you're taking it easy on those sugary energy drinks and those sugary snacks. They don't really help with long-term energy. They mostly just feed the tongue more than the body. And you may even feel worse in the middle of your workout if you have that. So avoid the sugars. Next, we want to make sure that you water up. Kickboxing is a pretty intense workout. You're going to sweat a lot. Especially as we go into the colder weather. I know it was a little chilly last night. You don't always realize how much you're sweating because cooler air has lower humidity. Your sweat is actually evaporating faster than you notice it sometimes. So even though you don't feel like you're sweating, it's still very important to stay hydrated. But that does not mean just bring a water bottle to class. That's not enough. Your body can only absorb water so quickly it's at a fairly standard rate, and we want to make sure that we're hydrating before we need it. By the time you're sweating in class, it's already too late. That water has already worked its way through your cells, done what it needs to do, and is already being excreted through sweat and processed through the other mechanisms in your body. So you want to make sure that you're drinking starting maybe 2 hours before class, even just slowly hydrating the body so that by the time you do come into class, you are fully hydrated and still have a little reserve in your body. But don't do it all right before class. You'll feel sloshy, full, again, bloated. Nobody wants to work out like that. We definitely don't want to have any digestive reversal accidents in the middle of class because you downed a gallon of water before you stepped on the floor. Things you should be drinking, really, unless you're a competitive athlete, water is probably more than sufficient. Things like vitamin water or Gatorade, I'm not a huge fan of because of the high sugar contents that they have. Avoid juices. Protein shakes before a workout is not always the best. We're going to save those for after you're done working, when your body is in recovery and needs all that protein uptake. So really, to me, water is the best, unless you're one of our, we have a few crazy warriors that come in and take 2-3 classes in a row. If that's you, maybe you'll need some of those electrolyte-based performance drinks. Third, You need to make sure that you are not being a superhero. Leave that cape at home. You do not need your super suit. You want to make sure that when you come in, you acknowledge that you have strengths, but you also have weaknesses. If you are starting a new fitness program, sometimes that is because you have not been doing anything. That's going to start happening probably more right around New Year's. That's coming up. So you want to make sure that, first of all, you're easing into it. Don't try to do every single thing like the guy on the next bag or even like the instructor. The instructors are professionals. This is what they get paid to be able to do. That guy on the next bag, well, we have some guys in our fitness classes that are actually amateur and professional fighters. Don't try to keep up with them. This is just their cardio workout. To you, this is something pretty intense. To them, it's just keeping them on their game. You need to recognize what your strengths and weaknesses are so you don't try too hard and actually injure yourself. One of the best ways to do this is to make sure that you are asking questions. So this leads us into number 4. There are no stupid questions. If you're first starting off, you're not expected to know anything. In my particular school, we make the assumption that you can walk only because we watched you come in from the parking lot. Everything else we expect to have to teach you. And if you already know it, great, we'll move to the next thing. But if you don't think that we're going to need you to know this somehow magically. If you have a question, especially in a high intensity workout, and kickboxing does have some contact element. Now, our fitness kickboxing classes, we are not beating on one another, but we have heavy bag work, pad work, focus mitts, things that we're working where you're making contact and working in resistance to your workout. You need to make sure that you're asking the right questions. If something doesn't feel right, we don't want you to push through it and injure yourself. We want you to ask the question that's going to help you either refine your technique or just recognize that, hey, maybe I'm not ready for this yet, or that this is a natural part of the training. You only find that out by asking. And usually, if you have that question, somebody else also has that question. They just are maybe too embarrassed or too involved in their workout to ask. So you really be doing everybody a favor. Finally, no matter how hard it is, whatever questions you get past, you can do it. It's an intense workout. Some people are burning upwards of 800 to 1,000 calories an hour for the guys that have been really working on their technique. It's hard. You're going to sweat. You'll be breathing heavy. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to have chemical responses in your body that tell you you should stop. But you can do it. When it comes down to the end of it, as long as you keep giving your best, you're getting something out of it. If you have to stop and take a break, that does not mean you are a quitter. That means you're taking a quick break, recovering, getting back in there. You can do it. You can survive it, and by surviving it, you will get better, stronger, faster, jump higher. How'd that commercial go? But by surviving it, you're not only setting yourself up for those physical changes, that physical success that you look better and feel better, but you're setting yourself up for mental resilience. And that is something that will help you out in any avenue of life, whether it's changing your diet or your lifestyle or just being a little more confident. Remember always that you can do it. Now, if you are not yet doing it, go right to that website. Hold on, let me get my finger lined up. There you go. That website right there. And for $19.99, you can come try out 3 classes and recognize what an amazing workout this is and get yourself through it. We'll be there to help. We'll get you some gloves, get you on the bags, and get you crushing your fitness goals. Those things that have been holding you back, not anymore. That's what we're here for. So hopefully when you come into class for your first session, you're going to be hydrated. You're going to be fueled up, full of energy, ready to go. You're going to have the right mindset, and you're also going to remember to come in with open eyes and ask questions that will help you succeed. I will see you in class.